The Moonlit Thief. In the small desert village of Rashid, a mysterious thief struck on nights when the moon was full. People called this person the Moonlit Thief. No one had ever seen their face, but they knew their mark. A small crescent-shaped charm left behind at every scene. The thief only targeted the rich, stealing gold and jewels, while the poor whispered prayers of thanks. Kareem, a kind but stubborn merchant, didn't believe in legends. He owned a small jewelry shop, and when his most precious necklace disappeared one night, he was furious. The thief wasn't a hero in his eyes, just a criminal. Kareem swore he would catch them no matter the cost. Kareem came up with a plan. He spread rumors about a golden dagger he had found, telling everyone it was worth a fortune. The truth was it was fake, but Kareem hoped the story would reach the thief. On the night of the full moon, Kareem hid in his shop with guards stationed outside. The shop was quiet, but Kareem didn't move. Then, just before midnight, a shadow slipped inside. A figure, cloaked and silent, moved toward the fake dagger. Kareem's heart raced as he pulled a rope, releasing a net from the ceiling. The thief tried to escape but was caught at the edge of the net. Kareem tackled them to the ground and pulled back their hood. He gasped. The Moonlit Thief wasn't some dangerous man. It was a young woman, her eyes sharp with anger and fear. Before Kareem could speak, the thief threw a small glass orb that exploded into smoke. When it cleared, she was gone. All that remained was her crescent charm gleaming on the floor. The next day, Kareem couldn't stop thinking about the thief. He asked everyone in the village if they recognized the crescent charm. Most shook their heads, but one old man whispered a name: Layla. Layla was a quiet seamstress who lived on the edge of the village. She was kind to everyone, giving away clothes to the poor and helping widows and orphans. Kareem didn't believe someone like her could be the Moonlit Thief, but the old man insisted. She disappears on full moons, he said. Kareem decided to visit Layla's home. When he arrived, she was sitting by her window sewing a dress. Her hands moved smoothly, but her eyes were watching him. "You've come about the thief," she said calmly, as if she already knew. Layla admitted she was the Moonlit Thief, but her voice didn't tremble. She told Kareem she stole from the greedy to help the poor. "The rich have more than they need," she said, "while children starve in the streets. I take what they won't miss." Kareem was shocked. He had seen the hunger in the village, but he couldn't believe stealing was the answer. He argued with her, but Layla silenced him with another truth. "The golden dagger in your shop isn't just a story, it's cursed. If we don't return it, a terrible spirit will destroy this village." Kareem thought she was making it up, but then the ground shook beneath their feet. A cold wind blew through the room, even though the desert outside was still. A deep echoing voice whispered, "Return what is mine." Layla grabbed Kareem's arm. "You feel it, don't you? The spirit is waking. We have to return the dagger before it's too late." Though he hated to admit it, Kareem knew she was right. He agreed to help, but he didn't trust her. Layla showed him an old map that led to a hidden oasis deep in the desert. The dagger belonged there, she said, and they had to take it back before the next full moon. The journey was long and dangerous. The desert was hot during the day and freezing at night. Strange things began to happen. Shadows moved even when nothing was there, and the sands shifted as if they were alive. One night, scorpions crawled into their camp, moving in patterns as though someone or something was controlling them. Kareem and Layla fought them off, but the experience left them shaken. For the first time, Kareem realized how much he relied on Layla. She wasn't just clever, she was brave. As they traveled, they began to talk. Layla shared stories of the people she had helped: hungry families, sick elders, children who had no one else. Slowly, Kareem's anger began to fade. When they reached the oasis, it was more beautiful than anything Kareem had ever seen. The water sparkled like glass, and tall palm trees swayed gently in the breeze. But the air was heavy, and a sense of danger hung over them. As they approached the center of the oasis, the spirit appeared. It was a massive figure made of swirling sand and light, its voice deep and booming. "Who dares bring my treasure here?" Kareem stepped forward holding the wrapped dagger. "We've come to return it," he said, his voice trembling. The spirit's eyes glowed brighter. "To return what was taken, a life must be given." Layla didn't hesitate. "Take me," she said. "I was the one who planned to steal it." Kareem was stunned. "No, there has to be another way." But Layla shook her head. "This is my fault, Kareem. The village shouldn't suffer because of me." Before the spirit could act, Kareem stepped between them. He held up Layla's crescent charm. "What about this? It's a part of her. Will it be enough?" The spirit paused, its glowing eyes narrowing. After a long silence, it reached out and took the charm. "This will do," it said. The dagger vanished in a burst of light, and the spirit faded away. Kareem and Layla stood in silence, the oasis now quiet. "Why did you do that?" Layla asked. Kareem smiled. "Because you were willing to do the same for the village. It's time people saw you for who you really are." When they returned to Rashid, the villagers were amazed. The Moonlit thief was gone, but the legend lived on. Layla gave up her life as a thief and used her skills to help the community in honest ways. Kareem, inspired by her courage, worked to make sure the wealth in the village was shared more fairly. Though the crescent charm was gone, its story remained, a symbol of bravery, justice, and redemption. Moral of the story: true courage lies in selflessness and doing what is right, even when it's hard. Justice is not about revenge or greed, but about compassion and fairness. When we work together and trust in each other's goodness, we can overcome even the darkest challenges.